good day or good evening. No matter where in the world you are, New Serum continues as it always has. And on this particular night, a night that's been rather active for Stefan Braunfiedler, his visit to the gym, the delivery of some very precious material, some necessary and sundry shopping, clothing, other things he needs for the job at hand. With a couple large bags of these things in hand, he steps out of a cab in front of, or he's standing after getting out of a cab in front of the Last Resort place he hasn't seen in a couple days. And a large part of him misses it. He takes a very noticeable, very forced makes him shaky on his feet, but he steels himself after that. He places both bags in one hand and heads into the Last Resort. It's about midnight, and he's made a call ahead in a cab ride to the owner to discuss the contents of the letter that he was given by Dave on his behalf 2 nights ago.
At this given point, Mr. Braunfiedler, while he may be late for his duties, Alexei, the owner of the Last Resort, has been pulling work. He hasn't had to end up doing this for almost 10 years now. It's just one of those things where you gotta end up getting the work done yourself, I guess. Instead, he has to end up doing his end up covering, while Stefan ends up taking his sweet ass time to end up getting back to work. Not only that, but the customer started complaining.
I don't believe Mr. Giuliano has had a heart attack.
No, not yet. But he's about to end up getting one if this kind of shenanigans keeps up. After end up pouring the last set of drinks, washing out the shaker, he ends up taking a look across the room, trying to end up seeing if there's any other customers. David is currently working right beside him, trying to end up going on. Now, there's no way that Mr. Alexei can end up keeping up with such a professional. But still, it ends up turning into a case of, as soon as Alexei ends up meeting eyes with Stefan across the room, Stefan entering the building, Alexei ends up gesturing to the other bartender that he'll be here back in but a moment's notice. And shoots Stefan a look with a gesture that's telling him one thing only: get in the fucking office.
Stefan walks behind the bar a little bit past the office door, setting the 2 bags on the nearest backroom table, and then into the office.
Close the door, Mr. Braunfiedler.
Stefan walks in, closes the door gingerly, takes a seat. Mr. Giuliano, good evening.
Now, Stefan, I want to end up understanding.
I want to thank you for the well-written, most humble letter that Dave delivered to me on your behalf. It was quite thoughtful, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, well, right now I'm just trying to end up keeping this place afloat. Yeah, Stefan. I don't think I need to remind you of all the bad press we've been getting around the city. And quite frankly, between buildings falling down and things happening over at the docks, people are just scared to start coming out. Business is starting to go down.
Well,
I can't afford to end up here giving people hours that aren't going to show up.
just just before the National Guard pulled out, there was quite an influx. I'm sure you were there. I had a quite busy shift for at least 3 nights. But I do understand where you are coming from, sir.
Well, I didn't end up here busting my ass off for 30 odd years and put my pension into this place just to end up here having it here go south on me. What do I have to end up here going with afterwards, Stefan? I mean, let's be honest here. What do we have here, once this place goes down? You'll be out of work. I need to end up putting my eyes elsewhere. Now, if I recall, sorry, busy schedule, you wanted to end up seeing me. Now, why would that be,
Yeah,
Mr. Braunfiedler?
it is something that has been.
Something that has been.
I understand that you have other concerns.
Well, I got a lot of concerns, mostly in the fact that the guy who's supposed to be able to clean this place from top to bottom and did a hell of a job of it can't even pour proper Guinness. Seems to end up thinking like he's pouring Miller or something.
I have also gotten those memos, and I have made a very concerted effort to improve on my pouring.
Well, I'm
Um,
thankful for that because
I
the
don't
first month
know
I
if
ended
I'm
up
off
having
on
you
the
over
count.
pouring by about 20%. You know how much 20% makes in this business,
But
Stefan?
yeah, and believe you me, sir, the man who assisted me in procuring this particular job, even though I
Ashton.
have not seen him, Ashton, for quite some time, I would not want to disappoint neither him nor yourself.
Yeah, well, right now I have a few select words for Ashton when I end up getting the chance to end up here beating him. But you want to know what? If he wants to walk out on me, fine. Not my concern. My concern is with you. You're the one that I gotta end up dealing with now.
Yeah,
So, what exactly do you want to talk to me about?
well, I have had a rather rocky past few months. There have been things that have come up that are extremely troubling. Things that's troubled past, but but I do my best not to bring that into this place, and I believe that I have done so exceedingly well.
Look, I'm not gonna argue on that, Stephen. But your pours are getting better. But it's it's things that you're still catching on to. Now I can retrain you. I can do whatever I want. But these you leave your problems at the doorstep and you end up coming here and you show a bit of professionalism. And you've been doing that as best you can, but I can't have you end up disappearing on me and then end up calling in last minute over and over again. You
I
made your
understand that.
probation period.
I
Is it the stress?
no, no, no. Stress has never been my concern. Not
Well, you look a little pale. I mean, I'm just worried that you're overworking yourself, and maybe you need. I'll tell you what. I'll end up making things easier for you. Okay. I'll
When
try.
Alexei mentions that Stefan waits for a moment that maybe Alexei turns his eyes downward. Maybe he's looking at papers and he's going to give himself a flush of health.
Yeah. Well, thing is, Stefan, I can end up retraining every new bartender that comes by. Now,
Well,
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. All right.
I believe I have. I
Oh
understand.
no, Stefan. I already got the
No,
idea.
no,
And I
no,
know,
no.
you're gonna listen to me, Stefan. I'm gonna give you some
Yes.
great news. I'm gonna end up making things a lot easier. Okay. Rather than you having to worry about closing every single night, I'm gonna give it to you easy. When we're not swamped, you get the opening shift. You can end up starting bright and early at 1 p.m. and we'll end up managing to end up getting you a little bit of time, not so stressful, end up giving you, just after the lunch crowd. You can end up checking the books. There's more time to clean. It's not in the middle of a rush. I'll tell you what. I'll start writing that down right now. Yeah. Now you can still end up working your regular time. Just
It,
start in the early afternoon is all.
that is a bit of a precarious time for me. I have a lot of business that I take care of,
Stefan,
which is
how old
why
are you?
I prefer night shifts.
I understand that, Stefan, but how old are you?
50.
Yeah. Well, that puts me a couple of years above you, and let me tell you something. We ain't getting any younger. And I'm telling you, when you're young, you want to end up keep proving yourself that you can handle that kind of stuff. But take it from somebody who's older. Look, you got to slow down. You got to take care of yourself. And I'm worried about you. You know what? And I think you opening this place up, meeting some new clientele, not all those scumbag drunks that are coming in half in the bag, and then you got to kick them out in a later bit, and you just relax a little bit. Just this will be temporary. You can go back to night shift afterwards, and I'll end up putting you back on closing. But right now, we're gonna end up putting you on the opening shift, and that's gonna be that.
Going to attempt to make a. Oh God. Hmm.
Just to let you know, you're breaking up just a little bit,
Oh, sorry.
but you're gonna make
Um.
a.
Let's see. Be a. How can we say it? Like a counter argument or counter offer to that statement of charisma expression, kind of an orative negotiation, an appeal,
Yeah,
like a reasonable appeal.
we'll deliver it, but you ended up stating that this guy is absurdly
Let's
stubborn,
see.
so I'm gonna make it difficulty 7 for you.
No, no, no. It is the closing shift that I have been working is absolutely fine. It actually works better for my schedule. And
Well, what? You got 2 jobs or something? You're working 3 jobs, Stefan. I understand that you ended up. Like it's quite
I
clear that you end up coming into this country. Yeah, I know that Germans are hard workers, but you gotta. Again, we're not getting any younger. I'm
and
looking out for you.
that is exactly why a shift earlier, which I know you do, because you have, I believe, regulars who enjoy seeing you here.
Oh, hey,
And
sometimes you got the gang.
the fact that, you know, if the rest of us, myself and Dave and Sarah, taking the later shifts, allowing you to get your much needed rest to keep your vitality up.
Well, we're not
This
talking
is
about
good.
me right now here, Stefan.
No,
We're
no.
talking about you.
This actually where I'm going to. Ooh, let me get rid
Oh,
of that. Oh, well, come on. There we go. One success.
did you catch what I said
On my
earlier?
charisma expression.
Did you catch what I said earlier?
It wasn't below 4. So,
Okay.
that's why, of course the 2 doesn't count. Fuck, I'm not that good. But let me just tell you that the nights I missed, I'm not making an excuse. I know better than that. Excuses is not how I got through college. Excuses is not how I supported my mother before her
Well,
demise.
Stefan,
No,
I don't need the sob story.
I'm
I'm
not
just
giving you a
telling.
sob story. I am telling you the facts, sir. I would much prefer to work the shift that I have been working. My other concerns and other obligations in life are things that they take another form of precedence in my life. And interrupting one would interrupt this, and this is not something I wish to do.
Well,
I can
Stefan,
give you an assurance that there will be no more transgressions, such as late shift, or being late for shift, or missing nights. I give you my word on that.
Stefan, I want you to listen to me real carefully right now. Look, you're a good guy, hard worker, but at the end of the day, I can't end up relying on just people giving me their word. I asked to care of this place, and then he ended up walking off, and all of a sudden I had to end up pulling manager duty. Now, you're starting to show the exact same pattern he did. He's just started missing shifts. So I'm going to tell you right now, Stefan, you miss one more shift at any time in this year, I'm going to have to let you go. It's nothing personal, but I need reliable staff. And
I
you've been a
understand.
hard worker, but you're not reliable. How am I supposed to end up giving you shifts when there's a million people lining up around the block in order to end up finding work who I can gladly retrain? I just don't want to have to end up going through that kind of effort. I don't want to have to end up doing that to you. I don't want you to do that to me. But if this happens one more time, this is your final notice. Now, I want you to reconsider. Reconsider that you can end up taking that opening shift. It will always be there for you. Because you're no spring chicken anymore here, Stefan. And the world's going to keep on turning you without you. Yeah,
Is he looking intently at me?
very much so. He's trying to reach you.
No.
Am I going to have to estimate his willpower at this point?
Uh, a die 6 will do.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
figured.
what I used the last time I had to do that.
Um, we'll give it
He is very
+1.
strong-willed.
Yeah, so let's give it anything but a 1 + 1.
Okay.
So for willpower, very strong for mortal.
Yes, it is. The and Stefan leans in just a little bit, just kind of putting his crossing his fingers about like this. The opening shift is not doable, but but I do know somebody who would appreciate such an honor. Dave would be a much better choice for the opening shift. I am actually going to attempt a mesmerize. God bless it.
I don't know what.
Oh,
I only see circles. I only see circles. Oh, there it is. 3, 7, 8, 10.
That
So
is
3
complete
doesn't count. No,
three does count.
He was a 4.
Oh, was he 4? Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Remember, 3 plus 1.
So it's complete, not over, but complete.
Yeah.
That is a strong suggestion.
Yeah. No. Is it you don't like working with Dave? Is that the reason?
No.
I mean, I agree. Like, look, I would love to end up having him on the morning shift. I'm just worried that who's going to cover if this happens again. I got to look after my own business, Stefan.
Dave is an extremely hard worker. I have never seen somebody in my life that is more dedicated to the cause of his pursuits. He reminds me a lot of me going through college. And I have noticed that Sarah has shown a lot of initiative in wanting to expand what she does. Actually going to try to make just an emotional appeal, not a manipulative one. Let me just get rid of that nasty old one. Yeah. She would make a good mid-shift alternative for a bartender, and she is exceedingly hardworking.
Well, I'm not going to argue with the head and hey Dave portion. She is.
And Stefan kind of sits back a little.
I don't know if she's ready just yet, but I don't have much of a choice if I want to end up putting Dave on opens. You sure you can handle this stuff? You do know what kind of crowd we end up getting here on a Friday and Saturday, right?
From 10 to 2, yes, I do. I have been working it for several months, and I am up to it.
You think she can handle it? That's a big one.
Sarah is. She's a lot stronger than she appears. And with Carl backing her up the way that Carl does, he can help her. He can make her stronger. I have seen the interaction between them. And Carl is, well, about our age as well.
Yeah, well, that's why I was kind of worried. I wanted to end up making sure that there was always new blood behind the bar, especially, you need to keep me appealing to the younger crowds. Give you this, Sarah definitely does that. But so does Dave.
As far as appealing to younger crowds, I had an interesting idea. Now, I don't my future here is possibly at risk, but I want to help you. I have noticed.
Have I ever stored or steered this bar wrong?
No, no, you have not. I admire what you have built there. I admire how long you have kept the place up, and that is why I did 2 months of extremely hard work off the clock to ensure that the inside of this place is comfortable.
Well, that's the only reason you currently have a job right now.
That is true. Now, I am going to further assist you.
How do you intend on doing that, Mr. Braunfiedler?
Before shift, I do get around and socialize amongst around the city. I've been to various other places, and I've noticed some younger people employed at various factories in this area, and I have noticed their selections in music, their taste in what we put onto the television.
Oh, no, I'm not going to end up I'm not going to make this into a rock and roll band.
No. Not at all. A chance. Nothing too extreme. Nothing. What is it the kids call punk, rap? Not any of that. No. But foreigner reaching out to the creative minds and souls that's in the city. I believe that this would increase your revenue.
Stefan, kind of telling you what usually happens when you end up bringing in live music.
Yes.
Here's the problem. Every time you end up bringing somebody in, they think that they're going to end up playing to a crowd. Like we're the ones who provide the crowd, and they're the ones who end up, playing to them, and then they're going to bring the wow factor. They don't understand that their job is to bring people in, not scare them away. Now, it's kind of like when we ended up having that blues kick back in the 90s. Oh yeah, everybody said they like blues. Well, you wonder what the demographics said otherwise, and my wallet said otherwise. And everybody wants to end up saying, why don't you end up bringing in live music? I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't end up bringing more people in the seats. And the worst part is that more people are busy listening to the music and sitting up on the dance floor than they actually are buying drinks. Most people don't realize that, Stefan, that when you end up bringing in entertainment, the entertainment becomes the focus, and then all of a sudden the drink sales go down. But that is where we end up making our money, Stefan.
Well, I am no stranger to creative thought. And he takes a moment to think about his next words very carefully. What if it's not the entertainers that are the center, but if the entertainers are simply performing, how can we say it, music that is not electronically inhibited, music that is a lot more natural, more localized, that is putting a focus on a particular theme as far as the product that we are serving, and not just in beverages but in food.
Stefan, the reason I end up having this place running the way it is because I knew the demographic long before I even started. Everybody wants to end up going for the really young crowd. Let them have them. It's those people who are just after that don't have any place, because the people who end up trying to stay on the cutting edge all the time end up alienating these people who grew up in it. And that's just a fact, Stefan. The demographics don't lie. Now, the key thing that you need to end up realizing is that the reason we don't end up carrying that particular or any music like that, it's really simple. People don't come in for it. They don't. And you know how much it costs every single time you bring in a band? It's not even about.
I do not know specifics, but
Okay, let me run you down.
I
real
imagine
quick, then.
quite a bit.
Well, let me bring it down for you. Okay? So,
What?
the very first thing you need to end up getting rid of is floor spaces. So we end up losing probably about 10 tables with 6 seats apiece. Now each table is worth about $10,000 worth in revenue. So you can end up doing the math on that. That's just by floor space. Then it ends up turning into the cost of every single performance, $200-300 a night, depending how long the band is. If you can't have them play all night, that's $1,000 in the hole right there. So right there, you need to end up making probably about $3,000 additional dollars just in sales on a smaller clientele. Now, like the sale is important, but you can end up telling me that every one of those people is going to drop an additional $100 in hand, cash in hand, plus tips. And now, also on top of that, it means we need to end up installing the proper sound system and beveling just to end up making sure that it doesn't bleed out and that it doesn't sound god awful at the end. And it also ends up making it a lot harder for you guys to end up hearing orders. You got to get them closer to the bar, and that means you can't do as many orders per turn. There's a reason I tell you, when you end up taking an order and somebody orders something that's relatively generic, you end up taking 5 more orders with it. Somebody wants a beer, you ask 5 more people who wants a beer, get them all done in one shot. Well, you can't do that with a large music venue. There's a lot of issues that end up creeping up with it, Stephanie.
That is true.
You're not a business partner. I appreciate the suggestion, but you're not a man for this business.
No, it is true. I've made it my life's work more to entertain through artistic expression. And it was brought to my attention that it's not the contemporary or the future, anyone in the city, or create further spurts forward in revenue, but the city's history. There are no doubt, there's a lot of history that's in the industrial district, a lot of hard-working people who built the city from this area. What if we put the focus on that, and thus the music that will be performed live will be done without electronic aid, or as minimal as possible. Now, as far as costing money for the performer, we consider this not a paid gig, but a trial to see how it goes. 3 performances, 2 performances, 1 midweek and 1 on a weekend for 1 week.
On the weekend, you think we can end up affording to lose customers on the weekend? That's where we end up making almost half our goddamn revenue in 2 days. Stefan, I don't like this plan one bit.
If necessary, sir. Whatever gratuity I bring in, I am all too willing to put it back into this place.
Stefan, that's implying a partnership, and I'm not willing to end up doing that.
Not a partnership, just
Stefan, I understand that you want
a friendly assistance.
I understand
But
Stefan,
I have endured
Stefan,
some failures in my life.
Stefan,
I do not wish that on anyone else.
Stefan, shut up.
To you, and I don't want to.
Shut up, Stefan. All right, I've listened enough. I've gotten what you're getting at. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to fly. All right, but Right now, we have a bunch of customers outside, but none here, Dave, on the bar. If I was there, if I end up taking up any more of your time, I'm gonna end up having him swamped. Now, I was covered long enough to end up helping him out, get things rolling. But right now, I need you on the floor, and I need it now. All right? This conversation has gone on long enough, and right now you're trying my patience.
I do not mean to do this. And I do thank you for your valuable time. And Stefan gets up and rolls down the sleeves of his shirt, buttoning them as he opens the.
Goddamn kids.
As Stefan begins to finish off the last 2 hours of the night at the last resort, he goes through a series of thoughts about what's occurred tonight, realizing that what he's done for too long, just existing, is not enough, and that he needs to step up his game and put a spur to it in order to move forward